Hey everybody!
Hi, guys.
We just got out of Insidious: The Last Key,
Yes.
which is
Insidious 4.
Insidious 4. It's the fourth
I can't believe
Insidious
there are 4 of
installment.
these already.
Yeah, and we've been watching them since the first, and like I was all excited when I first saw a trailer for the first one because I thought it looked awesome, and it was.
Oh yeah.
And I've loved all of them,
Right.
like since the beginning.
Me too.
Which is not usually the case with like horror sequels and stuff.
Yeah, usually they're.
But, and I think a
yeah.
lot of people with the second one didn't like the second one that much.
Really?
But I liked it a lot.
I liked it too.
It's just a little bit more sci-fi than horror.
Exactly,
maybe.
which I'm
It's
totally
like horror
into.
sci-fi, but then they went right hardcore back to straight horror after that. But yeah, good stuff. Like so this one. What did you think about this one?
I really liked it. I loved the fact that we got a backstory for Elise. That was really. I mean, even a.
It's totally her movie.
Her movie, absolutely.
Like more than any of the previous ones. So Elise is a psychic. She's an older woman.
Yes.
She's a psychic. We had a technical difficulty. The camera fell off the wall there. Okay. So
Anyway.
So Insidious, let's just say Insidious, if you don't know, is a horror film series, and it largely, once you get to the fourth film, basically they've all followed this psychic woman.
Which you wouldn't think that was gonna be the story.
The first one was like a haunted house, ghosts, but more like demons really than ghosts. It's basically about hauntings that involve demons. Basically, all of them have kind of been about that.
Yes.
And ghosts, I guess. And so in the first one, they bring out this psychic woman named Elise, and she has these two like younger guys that are like her sidekick guys who do the technical stuff.
Yeah.
Work with
They're very quirky.
Yeah, it's very like
Poltergeist.
It's like like the guys in Poltergeist, and if you like stuff like The Entity.
Yes, I love The Entity.
They really harken back to that especially that one, and and stuff like Poltergeist, and that's basically what this series is like. And to me, this is like when horror movies got really good again.
Right.
When Insidious came out, and then The Conjuring.
Oh, absolutely!
I
think
it's like from the same director or something. Right?
The same.
Didn't James Wan do both?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're all in the same.
Them,
I'm not sure the exact details on it, but they're all in the same like.
Yeah.
Arena.
Well, I mean, this is Blumhouse.
Blumhouse, yeah.
Which is like a big horror thing, but I don't know if Conjuring is part of the Blumhouse thing.
I don't know, but I know
I don't think so, but I think they're both James
Wan
Wan director, at least the first ones. And anyway, really good stuff, bringing back that Exorcist Entity style stuff, and Poltergeist and all that.
Which they have Barbara Hershey.
Barbara Hershey is a character. In the first film, and did she come out in the second film?
She must have, yeah, because it was still about that family.
Yeah, and you throughout the series they tie the films together with little cameos from the previous characters. Anyway, so yeah, this one is more than any. This one's really the one that's really about Elise, I think.
Oh yeah,
and that's just something that's gotten more and more over each film.
Yeah, it's like she became the main, character drawing, bringing all of these stories together, which is fantastic.
And this one goes all the way back to when she's a child.
Yes.
And we see her. It's largely about her childhood and dealing with her ability.
Her ability, right?
And how her father didn't understand it, and the mother was trying to work with her. I guess it was from the mom's side.
I realized we can't really say much without spoiling.
Yeah, we're trying not to do spoilers.
This is not a spoiler video.
Not a spoiler review, but yeah, and so it's a series that has jump scares, but not like the really irritating type jump scare stuff.
Oh yeah.
This is more like where I mean, it has the jump scares too.
No, but I'll tell you what
But it's got those kind where things just walk by in the background and you're like, what?
Yeah, and that's what got me, actually.
Yeah.
I usually am never, scared in these films, but I actually got freaked out at one point. But they actually know how to play off of the fact that we're all anticipating the jump scare already, and then they play off of that. You know what I mean? They make you think you're gonna get a jump scare,
and they're always good. In The Conjuring, even more so though.
Yeah.
Good about not like overdoing what they do use with the jump scares.
Right.
Like not doing it when they shouldn't,
Exactly.
Like you remember the very end of the first Conjuring and we were like, please don't ruin
Please
this
don't do
with
it.
a jump scare.
And they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know how much tied in they are with the Conjuring, these films, but they're similar in quality, I think, the Insidious films. So, except for those Conjuring ones are a little bit more real. They're based on like true stories.
Right.
And this is a little more fantasy and sci-fi-ish.
Absolutely.
So, as usual with the Insidious, there's like a demon. This isn't really a spoiler. I mean, it's in the trailers. There's always like a demon behind everything,
Right.
And they're pretty good at making creepy demons. And they're very good with the atmosphere in these movies and everything.
Yes, I agree.
It's very effective at actually being, if you are, because some people, supernatural stuff doesn't scare them. They have to see the serial killers or whatever.
Right.
And some people, like, we like more of the supernatural stuff.
I would say that, God, I really want to spoil stuff.
Yeah.
Should we?
Well, we can't. Okay, you know what? Let's just say we are highly recommending this movie. If you don't want to hear spoilers, go out and see this, support this movie. I don't know what people are saying about this movie right now. I don't know if they're liking it as much as previous ones. But, and I'm not going to say it's better than previous ones because I've enjoyed all of them a lot.
Oh, absolutely. But I
so
will say,
they've maintained this high quality to me.
I really liked it.
And that's all I asked for.
I will say that I was more pleased with I think the second one, or no, maybe the first one.
We are continuing to have technical difficulties. We just had to change to her phone because mine got full.
Yeah, so the quality's a little bit different. But anyway,
we're talking about the demon or something.
No, we were talking about the fact that I was.
Don't mess with that.
I had to get cheese from our mom.
We had to buy a little cup of nacho cheese.
Yeah, because she likes to dip her popcorn in it, and we have a popcorn can from Christmas at home. Anyway, I'm holding it here. So
yeah. Demons.
What I was gonna say, I think, is that the red-faced demon in the first one, it really bothered me. He bothered me because he wasn't scary at all, and I know you like that.
I thought he was scary.
I know you do.
There's some people that are they think of Darth Maul, and that's all they think of when they see that demon. And I don't think Darth Maul is scary, but I think that demon is freaky. Now, I've seen it a lot, and I'm a little more used to it now.
Yeah. Well, I was very pleased, for the most part, with this film in that there wasn't anything super cheesy. I mean, a few of maybe a couple of the lines were a little cheesy, but, like...
There's always, like... I think, the actress who plays Elise, I forget her name. Sometimes she delivers her lines... her name's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember right now.
Goodness.
But, sometimes she delivers lines a little bit cheesily.
Yeah, but I love her. I mean, oh my gosh, she's a good actress.
She carries the movies.
She's really good.
To carry the movies.
She's got this, like...
Not that everyone else in the movie isn't good, but, it focuses so much on her.
Yeah,
it is up to her.
She's really able to carry it, but it's like her cheese is almost endearing because she's, like, the older woman.
She's like this little sweet old lady,
Yeah, exactly.
And,
that's what it is.
Yeah, and it's, I was commenting to you, it's so great that she's the star of these movies,
Yes, and that's
it's not some attractive young, 20-year-old, hero character.
That's so awesome.
It's this little old lady.
She's a badass in this movie, and it makes me so happy to see that someone of that age, carrying a movie like that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And like we said, the guys are great in it. So anyway,
Yeah, the guys are really funny.
Yeah.
And then they had like in this one she runs. We said we were gonna go ahead with the spoilers.
Oh, okay.
So let's go ahead with spoilers.
Okay, guys, from this point on, if you don't want the movie spoiled for you,
we might not go far into spoilers, but we might. We don't know.
I just want to spill it.
Oh, okay.
So, anyway.
Okay, we're gonna spill it. Okay, so this movie picks up after the previous movie.
Right.
So it's a prequel to the original film.
Yeah.
But it's after the last one.
Right. It takes place after the last film, so you should technically watch it if you're going to watch these movies.
I think you can watch these in the order they were made.
In the order they were released. But storyline wise,
if you were going to watch it in the timeline, you would watch this one second.
3, 4, 1, and 2. 3, 4, 1, 2.
Yeah,
okay. So, anyway,
yeah, okay, so we haven't done one of these in a while. And it's late.
And I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, we're still thinking about everything too. It was really good. We liked it. This one, like we said, this one focuses a lot on her childhood, and it shows her when she's a kid at home, and it's really horrible for her. She's seeing ghosts. The father is just completely not understanding and in the way he deals with it.
Of her,
he tries to beat it out of her. He literally takes
and she even says that and
stick a cane or something.
But
beats her with it.
Her mother is like her kind of her protector.
And one of those where. Not, she's on her side, but at the same time,
the mother's also scared of the.
The father starts to beat her, and the mom can't really. I mean, she can't do anything about it,
right?
Except take the kids and leave, which she should. Yeah. But she doesn't get the chance because she.
Spoiler.
Well, we already said.
Yeah. She.
So the mom gets okay. No, well, okay. To punish Elise for seeing ghosts.
Oh,
the father locks her in the basement.
Locks her in a basement.
And which obviously the worst place for seeing ghosts.
This basement is hello, Kevin.
Yeah. and there's like a door there in the basement, like a red door, and there's like a ghost behind it saying, do you need light? I'll turn on the lights for you and all that.
That was the demon though.
Yeah, it was a demon. And it's like but it was pretending to be like a little kid ghost. And it's like, unlock this door. And
I'll help him to never hurt you again. Or I'll help you and he'll never hurt you again, the father.
Yeah, so I wanted her basically to open the door and let it out.
Yeah.
And it also wanted to use her in the future to open more doors and let more demons out.
Right. And unfortunately, because she was a little girl and she didn't know what she was doing, she opened the door.
She let it out.
Which was the key. She used it. She was given a key to do it. The demon gave her a key. So, I mean, it all ties into a bunch of keys.
And immediately it murders the mom because the mom comes down.
The mother comes down to see if she's okay because I believe Elise screams and then it murders her. And, I feel like that is when obviously that's when the demon took over the father, which is what we find. The father. There's a lot of Home Alone references in this video.
Not in the movie, but just with us. We're doing that all the time. Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe that's what I guess. I guess they made it clear in the end that the father was kind of under the demon's control.
Yeah, I feel like the father was. I mean, he was a bad father. He didn't know how to deal with it.
For a while there, it seems like maybe the father is a serial killer because.
Well, he turns into one.
Well, he kind of does, but he's possessed or something,
Right.
Somehow he's controlled by the demon. So what happens? Elise, I guess she ran away at that point.
Yeah, she.
Did they imply that she ran away?
I
was a little unclear on that. On if she just ran away.
No, you find out later that she stayed.
Oh yeah, she was there. Like they showed her at 16 or something. She
stayed there until she was 16.
But that's when I thought that it looked like she ran away at that point.
She did
or something.
Okay,
so she ran off.
Oh, you fell asleep during part of
By the way,
he fell asleep not because of the movie. Okay, just because he was tired.
Super tired. But I've got to drive.
I think that's the part that you missed. No, she left when she was 16 because the father was gonna beat her again, and because she saw she thought was a ghost.
Yeah.
She saw another female spirit, is what she
and
thought.
we find out at the end that it wasn't. Because here's what happens. Okay, she runs away, and she has a little brother. And so the little brother is left to live with the horrible father.
Right.
Who is now, like, possessed by a demon, basically. But anyway, so Elise runs off. She doesn't know about that part yet. She just, runs away. And we don't get any information on what she does after that on her own. We cut, forward to modern, whatever point. It was like
modern times
2010
after,
or something
it was
like that.
2010,
Because basically right before the original film.
Yes.
To show us her, what she, her case right before that film.
Yeah.
So she gets called up and for someone to help her because they have a haunted house. Turns out it's her old house she grew up in.
Right.
And it's a man who is having similar problems. Mm-hmm. And they discover when they go to investigate his house, they discover that he's got a girl locked in the basement.
In the basement. And once again, they were playing off like it was a ghost in the basement. When she went down to investigate, she was like, "Oh, there's a spirit here." And they did this really cool imagery to where it went from being a ghost, because it wasn't a ghost, but it looked like it was a ghost. It turned into it was a real woman, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, because there were ghosts and demons in that house.
The spirit.
So there were some.
The spirit of one of the girls that the father had murdered. This is really complicated.
Because they're playing around with. You see the girl, sometimes it's not her, sometimes it's the demon.
Yes.
And then, and then you find out that there's a real girl.
They're trying to confuse you throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, it's not something that doesn't work.
And it's just, it's great.
Hard to explain.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
So the ghost of one of the girls that the father murdered helps Elise find this girl that has been locked up in the basement by this man that called Elise to help him. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so then of course the police get called.
Well, maybe the demon was just trying to get her back there to the house.
Well, yeah, that could be.
Yeah, I think it was that. Anyway, so they, so that's what happened, and so she's searching the house. With her team, and she discovers a suitcase of the girl that she saw when she was a kid.
Yes. Yeah.
And then she realizes that it was also a real girl.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't a ghost.
It wasn't a ghost. That particular one. She did see ghosts, but yeah.
She finds all these suitcases with so many women with their skulls in them, in the suitcases. It was really sad.
So she finds out, basically, after she had ran away as a teenager, that the father had a bunch of girls he was murdering down in the basement. So we're keeping them locked up down there and murdering
And we're
them.
Assuming that he started murdering these girls
after he got possessed. Well, they kind of made that clear. She at one point in the end says, you had my father you were using him
like a puppet. Right.
So anyway, and also while she's researching this guy's house and finding all this out, she was at a diner where she bumped into these two girls. Along
with her, she was with her two companions, the two guys.
Who were hitting, they started hitting on the girls.
Yeah.
And it's super funny, it's super good. And the two girls just happened to be her nieces.
Right.
Because when the father comes into the diner, she's like, oh, it's my brother, but they don't have a good relationship anymore, so.
Yeah.
What is this guy doing? That is
creepy, dude.
This guy just pulled up right in front of us in a truck.
And he's not
still there. That is weird.
Scary movies. I think he's on his cell phone. He's just on his cell phone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Move along. So.
Awkward. Anyway, I can't talk.
This is really creeping me out. Just yeah. Here he goes. Thank God we're okay. I thought I just always expect to drive by whenever anyone. If anyone can see me I feel like bullets are gonna fly through the window. Okay. Anyway,
so they're hitting on
they're hitting on the girls. The father
in the
comes
diner.
in also though, and then drama between the brother and sister.
Right, because that's the
because he had ran off and left him. She had ran off when she was a teenager and left him, and turns out the father was horrible and crazy. Well, we knew that really.
Oh, and we forgot to mention there's this one important piece of information is that the little boy when he was a little boy, the brother, he had been given
the
whistle. The mother gave him a whistle, and she said, if you ever need me, this is what this is for. You know what I mean? Because she understood that the sister could see all
attracted
these spirits, and the poor little boy, he didn't have that ability, and he didn't understand it, and he was scared. Yeah. So that was like kind of his safety net. But she said only use it when you really need it.
And that comes into play a lot. The whistle.
Well, the spirit or the demon is constantly trying to keep that whistle away from them.
And this is a demon that has the thing about sound, and it doesn't. That's why it doesn't want them to have the whistle,
right,
I guess.
Yeah.
Because the first thing this demon will do if it gets you is it turns its finger into like a key and sticks it in your throat and like silences you, and also it causes a big collar chain around you to appear around your neck.
The second one is like the collar chain.
Oh, the second one's the collar.
So
then it also
he comes to you and he goes right here to silence you, and then he comes right here and. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, it was a cool, new demon design. I'm a little frustrated because I still want to see more of that.
Are you kidding me?
I feel like there's a story with the red-faced demon that we didn't get.
He's almost comical at this point because he's like popping in every 5 seconds.
They do. They pop him in
but
like all the movies.
It, it's like, whoop.
But they keep teasing him like there's a big story with a red-faced demon, and I know he was kind of a major part in the first movie, but it's like he wasn't like was he the main villain in the first one? It's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah.
Well, they also had that.
He was the one that went tiptoe.
But they had like a whole bunch of ghosts and demons in the first one.
Yeah.
Well, he was the demon, but they were like.
He was the.
I guess he was the main one. I don't know. I want more info on that guy. I feel like there's more info on him out there. For them to give
I feel like, okay, so here's one thing. Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the demon in this one, if you compare it to the red-faced demon, he wasn't that powerful. I mean, he was powerful enough to make you want to kill people.
He does this horrible trick with his little finger.
Yeah, and he has people he has spirits locked up and stuff. I guess he was powerful. But I mean, when you compare it to like the visuals of that initial demon in the first Insidious, where he's like in the bowels of hell or something, and he's like working with his puppetry. I don't know.
Well, and that's the thing. And then in the third one, they had a demon that was like. Full on no, you know what? I'm getting this confused with Annabelle. What was the demon like in the I don't remember what they looked like in the second and third.
The demon in the third one.
There might not have been a demon in the second one. I don't remember.
The second, I don't remember. The third one was the oxygen mask. No.
Yeah, that's in all of them. That's
Conjuring.
See, all these movies have demons, and they're all
Well, no, but the demon in the third one does have an oxygen mask too, I think, and he's like
I think
preying off of the
one.
Girl. We haven't seen these movies in forever, and we love these movies.
And they're different. They're all different,
which I love. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say. Like this one it's not like the other movies, and none of them really are. That's what's so great about them. They don't just repeat themselves. But they do all have usually have a demon and ghosts, because that's the kind of horror film.
It's almost like tuning in to a weekly show.
Yeah, it's like a series. It's like you're watching like a really good horror series, and the creatures in this.
It's like a monster of the week or demon of the week type thing.
Yeah, because the creatures in this are demons.
Yeah, so it's like a new demon every.
Yeah. Yeah, Insidious the series.
Yeah, guys.
That's that's what it is. But they've all been really good.
So where were we? Where were we?
Oh, where were we? We were talking about Oh well, we're talking about the
He finds all these suitcases, right?
the suitcases, but we also then we cut to talk about the family, the brother.
Oh yeah,
The estranged brother, which was played by, I can't remember any of these actors' names, and I know them. I believe this is the actor who played in can't remember the movie. Ben, the rat movie. There were like two movies, Ben.
I never saw
and
this.
Willard. I think
Willard,
he played
yeah.
the original Willard, but I don't remember. It's been a while since I've watched that. But I think it was the actor who played the original Willard.
It reminds me of the guy from MC Mickey Mouse Club from the 90s and 80s.
The 90s Mickey Mouse Club guy whose name I can't remember.
But he has like super blonde hair, right? It's not white or something. But
that guy, that guy was like platinum blonde in the 90s. I can't remember his name either, but
anyway.
But I still have my card, my membership card.
Me too.
From 90s Mickey Mouse Club.
Oh Lord, I was so proud of that thing. And that show is horrible. It's
a terrible show, terrible.
Now I won't watch any other Mickey Mouse Club.
There's a new Mickey Mouse Club right now.
Don't even get me started.
I don't know anything about it, but there's a current Mickey Mouse Club.
Bleh. Anyway.
Okay. So yeah. So we find out. Well, basically, one of the two nieces gets attacked by the demon.
Right.
What was she doing when that happened?
So the two nieces went into the house because the father wanted them to help him look for the whistle.
The whistle? Is that what it was?
I think it was the whistle. I don't know.
I was very drowsy.
Oh, yeah. It had to have been the whistle because Elise had given at the diner, Elise had given one of the nieces a picture of the whistle. Because they had taken a picture of the whistle because they were so Elise was so excited that she found it when she went down to investigate previously. So anyway, so I guess for some reason that guy was so attached to that whistle that he decided to take his daughters over to the house and find that whistle. And they were looking for it everywhere. And finally, one of the demon lured the younger, more innocent, seemed like, of
the two girls,
purish. I don't know.
Yeah.
He lured her down into the basement and did the little lock key thing.
The sweeter one, because of the two daughters, one of them was like the more bubbly,
one of them's
the more cheerful one, and the other one was the troubled one. And you
Right.
find out later it's because she has the same
and not even that
ability.
much later. Like
Yeah.
when the sister gets attacked by
and ends
the
up in the
demon,
hospital.
The other sister, her sister decides to stay because you find out that she sees things also.
She has the same abilities as Elise,
Right, or similar.
And so they're gonna work together and try to like help the sister. And
because the sister is about to die in the hospital.
And so Elise has to go into the further. And when she goes into the further, and I don't remember why she went in the further. I don't remember how they were plotting to help the sister, but
oh gosh,
they went back into the house. They were trying to like, I guess they figured it had the sister, in a sense, her spirit.
She was
it had her spirit.
It had her
That's
spirit
what they said.
Somewhere. And so she went down. Elise went in there to confront the spirit, and she went into the further, and
she got captured basically in the further by the demons. So that's when her niece, with the ability, has to go in after Elise.
And there's this hilarious scene where the guys are trying to hypnotize her to go in to see Elise into the further. I mean, this movie, I love that about these movies, that they have a little bit of comedy in there.
Yeah.
It's almost Ghostbusters-like, slightly,
Yeah, you have to. Like, I remember when we saw It Follows, and I really liked It Follows, but it needed a little bit of comedy.
Yeah.
There might have been little hints, but it needed some of those. You know how they were always, and everybody was like, oh, that with It Follows. Talking about really quickly about It Follows, that it was like, everybody was saying it was so much like the original Halloween. Like, it had that feeling of like a 70s movie, horror movie,
that a little
or
bit.
Like 1980 or whatever kind of a horror movie, early 80s, like 1980, right on that dot, kind of horror movie. And but it was lacking one thing, and it was lacking a few characters that were like the silly goofball friends
Right, yeah.
that lighten the tone
Absolutely.
before they get murdered.
Yeah.
It just didn't have any lightheartedness at all. And there were other issues, but that's another review. But anyway.
And that's what we like about it.
Yeah, these movies, as dark and scary and sometimes very dark as these movies get, they have their lighthearted stuff too.
Yeah.
Especially in these ones, it's those two guys, the two
right.
sidekick guys are a
They're the
big part of
comedic
that.
relief. So the niece goes down into the further to save Elise, and basically a lot of visuals are happening in the further. The spirit of the girl that Elise had seen when she was 16, who was the girl that was locked in the basement by her father, she helped her niece find Elise in the further. She had the little lantern and everything, and they took her. They took her, or the spirit took her into this almost like asylum looking, or I guess it was supposed to be like a penitentiary looking place. But that's where the demon had a bunch of these spirits, and the demon was getting Elise to torture her father, because the demon was feeding off of the hate. But when the niece found Elise, she was like, Elise, and it made her kind of snap. And Elise woke up from whatever, anger spell she was under. And she stopped torturing her father. And she realized that her father was just a puppet. And
so it was like the guy that they came there, they originally were brought there to help some guy.
Right.
Who, by the way, met a horrible end.
Oh, I know.
I mean, it was very interesting.
Oh, yeah, did we mention that poor guy?
No. Well.
Oh man, that was an awesome end.
We didn't even have to go into. if somebody wants to see the movie, they'll let them see that part.
Spoiling everything already.
But anyway, what were you saying?
Well, Elise.
Yeah, they saved the day.
They saved the day. Yeah, and the father the character of the father is slightly redeemed.
Yeah,
I like that they did that.
Oh, we didn't say how they were saved, because basically,
well,
in the further, the demon had Elise, the niece came in and grabbed it, got control of the niece, took the niece away, and because Elise was battling the demon and she was doing really good, but it took the niece, and so Elise was like, okay, take me, not my niece.
Oh, there was that really cool visual with the demon. With the two nieces, like on.
It's been a rough night for Rockin' Ricky, but he's still on the air. That was technical difficulty number 3. This time, what happened? Your phone ran out of power.
Yes.
Okay, so we just relocated to home, and now we're in our own parking lot to finish the video.
I like this nice fog you've got going on, or vignette.
Yes, I put a filter over to look younger.
Okay. Anyway,
we're black to look lighter. That's from Christmas with the Cranks. You don't remember that? Christmas with the Cranks. We like that movie.
Oh, because he got all tan in the tanning bed.
It wasn't a weird, horrible thing to say in the context of the film. Okay. Elise was doing something. Where were we? It's been a weird night. Elise was fighting a demon. Okay, no. So they had the nieces on chains, like you do.
Yeah.
And then, it was the demon, and Elise was like, take me instead.
Oh yeah.
And then she got in a fight with the demon.
And
there was a whistle there.
No.
The niece
She got in a
found the
fight.
whistle.
She got in a fight with a demon, and then the demon was like about to get her, kill her, and then the father.
Well, she even did the key thing and locked her.
Yeah, the father
voice.
intervened. The father intervened, and
The father intervened.
yeah, didn't he?
Oh yeah, the father was there too. The ghost of the father.
The ghost of the father intervened, and like, I don't remember what he did, but he pushed him or something, and got him off of her.
No.
Demon off of her. Something like that.
It was a big battle. Anyway, the demon ended up on top of her and locked her throat so she couldn't talk.
Right.
And but the niece had the whistle.
No, but you're missing their key part where the father helped Elise, and then
I don't remember the father helping
yes,
Elise.
the
I know he
father-
was there.
The father helped Elise, and then the demon turned around and killed him. And before he killed him, the spirit turned to Elise and said, "I'm sorry."
The father?
Of the father.
I did see
yeah.
that part, but I don't remember the father helping. But anyway, but that
Yes.
might have happened. I was drowsy.
Anyway, so the niece found the whistle that was there and threw it at Elise, and Elise was desperately grabbing it.
I was like, why didn't you blow that whistle? You don't have to throw it to Elise and have her do it where she's fighting a demon right now, and she already had her throat locked up. And...
You know what? I was okay. So here's something that I kind of feel like some people are gonna say some stuff about the way they resolved everything. I was totally fine with it because I mean I was cool with it. It was nice and it was.
You're skipping over the issue.
It was a sweet, simple thing. But no, where I'm going with it is that I don't think that it would have been as effective in conjuring up somebody if it had been a niece.
It just would have been the logical thing to do.
Right, true. Well, she could have at least tried it first, and then nothing happened, and then
I mean, as we see this, you see this in movies. It's like she couldn't do it because the other character's got to be the hero.
Right.
So it's like, here's the sword, even though I should be probably helping you with it.
Oh yeah.
You take it and you fight, and
I am immortal.
Anyway, it's still a good movie. We overlook little things like that in every movie. There's always things like that for the sake of the story and the hero and everything.
But anyway, the whistle calls.
She blows the whistle, and
the
her
whistle.
Mother's ghost comes.
Yeah.
Like at the end of Casper.
It makes me. Oh God! I love Casper, but that's cheesy.
But anyways, the Mother's ghost comes and saves her.
And don't make her wear a T-shirt over her bathing suit. What does the mother say? Oh my God!
Anyway, the Mother's ghost comes and saves Elise, and Elise and the nieces, they all go home.
Yeah.
And
right
so
off into the
it was a simple ending. They blow the whistle and the mother comes and rescues them. But it was fine. There was nothing bad. It was a good ending. It tied the whole story together. It just was simple.
I know some people are gonna find it cheesy and stuff, but I really enjoyed it.
Or they want something more intense.
Right. Something. I don't know, but I liked it. It was nice and it was sweet, and the mother said bye. Which, by the way, that kind of makes me sad that she's just like walking around
in the further.
In the further.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's what that was.
Around in the further.
They could have had her,
just kind of appear,
go into a light at the end, but
true.
But they did just have her walk off into the further, and I thought about that too. I was like, is she stuck in the further?
That's really sad.
But I don't know. I assume she went off into a light or.
Well, Elise ended up stuck in the further, didn't she? At
in
some point in one
whole...
of the movies.
Yeah, well, in like when she died.
I don't know. Anyway.
I don't remember. Gotta rewatch the whole series.
So after that, everything's peachy.
Yeah, it was great, and she reconciled with the brother and. One of the
other
one of the two
fine.
guys got the niece kind of. Well, he kissed her.
Kind of.
Did they end up together? I don't know.
Probably
they kind
not.
of imply like they do.
Maybe.
Probably. She's gonna go into the family business, I think.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So he probably gets with her.
That's how.
And so the
might
bearded one is like,
continue
"Oh,
it.
I didn't get." Although I thought he was doing okay with the other one. The bearded one?
I don't think so.
Except he didn't like her as much as I liked the hospital one.
I thought the hospital one was prettier, but
yeah, I did too.
I don't know.
I've seen her in other stuff. I think she's probably like one of those Disney Channel girls. I don't know.
So Anyway, it ended with Elise in bed, and she was having a bad dream about Dalton from the original film, the very first film. She was having a bad dream about him, and so it was kind of a sad ending because now, like, she's gonna die soon.
You know that she dies in
that's so sad.
On her next case.
But at the same time, at least she resolved her personal issue.
I guess so. Everything tied together really cool. The way they tied this in with the other films.
Yeah.
It was sort of like at the end of like Revenge of the Sith or something, you know?
Right.
Yeah. And it would be weird. They can always make more. But it seemed like
I thought that was a good ending.
This was a good ending.
And it's called The Final
Every time I
Key.
see a Toy Story movie, I'm like, oh, that's a really good ending for the series. And then they keep making another one, and it's always good. But you know, that's... It seems like this is the end. We'll see. But yeah, really, really good. Really liked it.
It was. You guys should go see it, even though we just spoiled it all for you. But go see it.
Highly recommend it. There were some interesting trailers before that. I just do you remember any of them, or any that struck you? The one that struck me, because I hadn't seen it before, they did a trailer for the next X-Men movie, which is the New Mutants.
That looks really good.
Seems to pick up right after Wolverine. Not Wolverine, it was Logan, the third Wolverine movie. And if I'm understanding correctly, it seems like a sequel to that one. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, you know, X-Men. And yet it was totally sold like a horror film.
Yeah.
So, very interesting.
True.
I don't know too much about the New Mutants.
It looked really
cool. But it looked pretty cool.
The new Tomb Raider looks amazing.
Yeah, and I've seen that trailer before. I'm looking forward to it.
That looks awesome.
I wasn't a big fan of the previous two movies.
You know, I kind of watched them all together.
There's like two of them.
About a year ago. Oh, there's only two?
There's two.
Okay, well, I watched both of them about a year ago, and I remembered liking it.
I just remember they weren't that good. They're just kind of boring and like, yeah. And I thought, what's her name? Angelina Jolie was well cast as the Tomb Raider.
Oh, but this new girl, she's not like...
I like her.
She's not similar to Angelina Jolie.
She doesn't really... I don't know if this is supposed to be a prequel. Well, I know this is how she starts off, but I don't know if it's just full on... like, forget those other two, or if supposedly this is
like
her just her before.
Maybe.
But I'm hoping and thinking it's just like a new, just dropping the other two.
Yeah.
Starting totally fresh. Because I like this girl and I'm looking forward to seeing her. I don't know her from anything else.
And then the new Bruce Willis movie?
The new Bruce Willis movie, a remake of what's it called? The Charles Bronson movie. Was Death Wish.
Oh yeah.
And looks cool. What did we just watched something with Bruce Willis? We just watched Die Hard, of course. So yeah, I was like ready to see something like that.
Yeah.
I really was in a mood for like some more
Die Hard.
Awesome Bruce. I love Die Hard, but like I haven't like been too impressed with what I've seen of the sequels.
Oh, I like it
Even
too.
the second one was like a little bit. It was good, but it just didn't have, to me, the quality of the first one. It was just like, and I haven't really watched the others. I've just seen the second one.
I've seen all of them.
I've seen bits of the third.
It slowly gets worse.
Yeah.
But
I heard that, but the first one is so good.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, and this looks really cool, Death Wish.
And wasn't there a horror film preview?
There was a horror film called, I think it was Truth or Dare or something.
Is that the only one?
I don't know if that's the title, but
we saw a different one too.
Well, you might be thinking of the X-Men one.
Maybe.
But there was Truth or Dare one, which you said looked like a 90s.
It reminded me of like, I Know What You Did Last Summer and not Final Destination. Oh God, what's it called? Urban Legend.
It did look like Final
Urban Legend
Destination
and
also.
Final Destination and all those ones. It was very interesting.
But it also, I thought when I first saw it, and I was trying to figure out what it was because it looked like it was a sequel, and I was like, oh, this looks like it's a sequel to It Follows. But it wasn't. And
no, I didn't think that.
I thought it looked like that, but anyway, it looks like, kind of like one of those 90s films, but also reminds me of some of the kind that have been coming out lately.
True.
With the younger like there's the Ouija film series, which I haven't seen yet. And then there was what else? There was something like that. It was one about like genie or wishes or something that came out recently. I really want to see that.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if it's good. I just really want to see it.
I forgot I wanted to say the little girl who played Elise in Insidious 4, she was really good.
She was really good, and you know what? She reminded me. Actually, she looks a lot like what's her name from The Conjuring. I thought.
Really?
I thought she looked like a young
Maybe.
what's her name?
I would have to see her again, but I thought she looked
the lady from Bates Motel.
She Vera Farmiga.
She looks a lot to me like Vera Farmiga, like really young, like when she plays in The Conjuring.
I really enjoyed the evolution of Elise, like her age groups, because they cast really good women for that.
Oh yeah, over
girls
the years,
for that.
her different
it was
actresses.
interesting.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Yeah, I think they did a really good job with that film series. I wouldn't have imagined it would have been the story of Elise.
I did not like
all these films.
It developed into that.
That's what the whole series basically is you get her life story, really. And you would have thought it was, because the second one is still with the same family from the first, and you just kind of get that Poltergeist 2 thing where, okay, it's the same family. We're gonna stick with this family, but no, it's it's mainly about Elise throughout the years.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love it.
Interesting.
It's awesome.
So that's
Go
what that
see
was
it.
about.
So that's what that was about.
Oh god.
The worst line.
That's the worst line in the whole saga of Insidious.
Yeah.
So that's what that was about.
Oh, but
I do want to say
she's so endearing.
Yeah, it's a great series. And we need to do a Star Wars review, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Last Jedi came out, and we saw it like the opening night, and we barely got tickets for opening night, but we did it. And we haven't done a review, and I've seen it a second time already.
I need to see it a second time.
You need to see it a second time, and we both need to go to the IMAX. Check it out there.
Yeah. We'll do that in post-review.
Even though it's been out for a while and everybody's got their reviews up, we got to do our sitting on the couch talking about it or something.
Absolutely.
Review and our opinions, because we're huge Star Wars people here. And
I just posted an X-Files review also of the latest season of the X-Files, and we've got 9 more episodes coming up, and Nathan's gonna start doing those.
I'll start doing them, but I will say this, and I watched the X-Files back in the day, and but this person is the biggest X-Files person that I've ever known, and she was always
I still am
obsessed with X-Files.
Obsessed.
So I don't know how much I'm gonna have to say, but I will start watching them and at least sometimes be in those videos.
You know what? I will tell you that my memory has completely, and I explained this in the video, but I used to have this folder or this spiral notebook with the names of the series, like the shows, each episode, and what it was about, and it was connected with my VHS tapes of the series that we had back in the day. But and for the life of me, I have the hardest time remembering episodes, what episode names now. I was trying to remember episode names in the
get those Blu-rays.
review I did, and it was hard for me because I haven't seen. I feel like I went through the series last year, but I guess I didn't. I don't know. Maybe I was just picking and choosing episodes.
Yeah, I think you were picking and choosing.
But anyway, so yeah, we'll be having more of those out every week.
I'm old school. I'm Kolchak the Night Stalker.
Oh, I love Kolchak too.
I know, but I grew up as a little kid.
I know.
Watching reruns. They used to show the reruns late at night.
It's interesting because, and I was telling Mom, our mom earlier, that every time I see, and I'm sure this is the same with any X-Files fan, but it's this feeling comes back into you. It's just oh god, warmth and home, and just our complete obsession with it. Anyway, Insidious 4, the last.
Yeah,
the final
highly recommended Insidious. We're gonna do a Star Wars review anyway, even though it's late. I actually have 4 or 5 movie reviews that I need to do that are super late. I never reviewed Coco. I never reviewed I don't even remember all the movies that I've seen recently that I haven't reviewed. But it's a nice little pile now, so I'm still gonna try to do them.
Cool.
And so like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, please comment. We want to hear from you guys. We really do.
Okay, guys, and that's it for now.
Have a good night. Bye.